Akali ban now, they will be able to choose the Ezreal or Prince if they want to, or the set for themselves on blue side for that first pick. So they have two really strong options here, and there's no counter rumble.
Ban. Huh. You know.
It's because they don't want any Senna Kench or Jinx Kench follow-up, I suppose.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to pick the Varus necessarily into the Ezreal. If they ban the Varus here, it gives them the opportunity to counterpick set if Ezreal is taken.
And the priority on picks such as Leona, Thresh, Nautilus, they go up, and Ezreal is going to be the pick.
If you ban, I really like this pick. I think it's still very strong, despite the clear nerfs, and they're going to get the Gnar here for Summit. I really like this draft. It feels like a whole plan's coming together here for Liv Sandbox. Now they have blue side. The Thresh would be quite interesting. It's very safe into this, and it gives you the opportunity to even actually use Gnar to build his bar very aggressively out there, and then be able to be pulled back and then re-engage.
Yeah,
but
ooh.
Great against Kalista, who has very low range. We've seen this picked a lot into set right now in this meta. Hasn't been played at all this series, but is going to make a bit of a comeback here. And this means Afrika now have the opportunity to try to decide if they want to play Lee Sin into this, counter pick, put set support. Like you can do a lot here. Okay, so set's going to be into this one.
But the face breaker comes in from Fly, and they're able to line up one kill. Can they make it two? The answer is no, as the haymaker doesn't quite land, but there's so many minions here. The way they slow push this means that this dive is going to have so much value. As down will go Fate, and down will go Prince. That's going to be a 3-for-0. Extremely clean on the dive. They did not rush anything, and it was perfectly executed as they take down 3.
I mean, that's the power of Kalista and Nautilus in the early game. Mostly the Kalista. You can push a lane like this so hard, but there were a million bajillion minions down there.
Wow.
Approximately.
That's a lot. Dread heading up to the top side. Little does he know, there is Krako in the jungle as well. As here comes the Rise now on top of Keen. We got a teleport coming in. Keen will be able to survive. Can we get the turn here? The set ultimate into the wall, and Fate just pops like a balloon. And that teleport was massive. Nice follow-up engage here from Fly. Although effort now is coming on up. We got Mega Gnar coming in as well. Big knockup as the damage is coming through here from the side of Liv Sandbox. The follow-up is fantastic as even Prince gets in there with his True Shot barrage and is able to turn this one around finally for Liv Sandbox.
Yeah, Leo's going to get a turret down here with all the plates, but what you get here for Liv Sandbox is a lot of extra gold. About 800. The advantages in terms of how these fights go later on is based on execution for Afrika. It's not like their comp can't fight in late game, but it's the ease of execution and the players that are on these champions. I mean, Summit on the Gnar, you trust that as Liv Sandbox. This game could definitely flip on its head very quickly.
Krako's gonna spot Dread, and if a root comes in here, okay, he's got a stopwatch. Krako even flashes in. That stopwatch gets so much value. Krako's gonna spot Dread, and if a root comes in here, okay, he's got a stopwatch. Krako even flashes in. That stopwatch gets so much value. Baits effort into a wrong spot, and the rest of his team is not able to follow up. Dread stole my heart tonight.
It's the night of Lee Sin, Valdez. It's not about the set anymore.
And that's going to open up this Drake for them. That's the third Drake. We were looking for a really close fight on this, trying to get into that back line as tons of damage is coming out. Fly gets a big engage as well. A huge haymaker. Prince gets some room. And you can see Summit over the wall is actually cutting them out really well, as this is a close one. Look at Prince as well on the bottom side, trying to kite them out. He's got the Rise on top of him as well. And Afrika overextend here, as Dread is able to get the one Udyr, but that is it.
I feel like I gotta do the finger wag and say, I warned you, Afrika fans, that this might happen. The extended fight, Prince gets some room, like you said. He's got the Rise there to help peel for him. He does a ton of damage in this fight. Effort has a huge knock-up too, and once that knock-up hits, the rest of Afrika can't close the gap onto Prince anymore, and if he's just left to his own devices, the range issue is such a massive problem for Afrika. Once they use their tools to get on top of Prince, like the Facebreaker doesn't hit here, then yeah, he looks for that Haymaker, doesn't connect either, and now it's like, that's it, the fight is over. Yeah, you can maybe kill Kroko on the top side of this map, but you have to get out of here as soon as possible, because Prince will never be touched again. And this is a huge turnaround for Liv Sandbox, and this is the first of many fights I feel they may win to turn this game around and take that third game, win this series.
They have some room as the ultimate goes down on a Fate, but he's just machine gunning on the bottom side and a massive Gnarl into the wall. This time around, Prince has a lot more aggression onto him, but it just does not matter as he has the Glacial Shroud after taking down the Baron. Liv Sandbox, they have taken off out of the atmosphere right now. They are so far ahead now in this game in the span of like 2 minutes.
It's a huge turn. And we talked about the items that start to come online. You start to become extremely powerful. Keen even has to walk away here. This fight was won by Summit though, 100%. His big Gnar was massive. That actually gave a lot of space and did a ton.
Let's see it. Can you do it? They say, nope, we don't want to flip. No flips for us. We can just turn it. They got Summit on the top side. That is big damage coming out already, although Keen is trying to trade here front line, trying to get onto Effort as a big knockup comes in. Fly is going to get isolated, and down he will go. The amount of damage that is coming out from the Rise and the Ezreal right now is way too much. As Kroko's able to come in and get the flash stun down. Keen is going like 1v4 in the back line, getting some room now for Leo. And it might not matter because Summit is so huge, but now with Dread, as Prince is trying to kite it out, at the end of the day, the answer is going to be no. The wallets will clamp down and smack all of the members of Afrika down into the ground. It was close. That was a nice little try. But at the end of the day, Liv Sandbox just way too far ahead in this game.
After games 1 and 2, I never thought I'd see an Ezreal chase down a Lee Sin. With the Lee Sin is healthier than the Ezreal when the moment it happens, but it does not matter. This is a perfect game for Summit, by the way, 6-0 and 9. Almost 100% kill participation. What a fantastic player for this squad on the Gnar. More teams need to be banning this in first ban phase, because if he gets it, they build a comp around it. They build a comp around that Ezreal scaling, and it is just so hard to come back. With the traded kills, they can't actually walk down to end the game just yet, but I mean, it is inevitable. The game is definitely over now. Yeah, I'll watch this fight one more time. You know, you pointed out Keen does a ton in this team fight.
Yeah. Just watch him because he was really like the only saving grace. The one player that was nearly able to trade it back when he was in the back line, and I think they underestimated his sustain.
It's crazy when you can watch a team front to back.
Watch this.
And kill a set first. But yeah, we'll watch Keen just omnivamp his way to survival.
The needle sustain is ridiculous with the passive and everything. It's just, sometimes you get caught off guard. It's a lot of needles, you know?
Dread just didn't have his Q to jump in until the last second, but by that point, Prince had already hit his skill shots. He had vision, he had those wards there, he just didn't have his cooldown. And, yep.
Flip it over the Baron. Maybe this is how they get back here. Kroko is so tanky right now. As Summit gets into the back line, a massive wallop in there as he is still alive for so long, and he's got the GA as well. We're not going to see the sustain this time out of Keen, I don't believe. The knockup comes in. That is going to be the clean ace. And Liv Sandbox with a huge performance here in Game 3. They will be able to take down Afrika in a huge win tonight.
Love to see the tombstone flash there. That is rest in peace. Afrika's composition fell apart at the end of the mid-game. The era of the Ezreal rise came to pass here. Liv Sandbox with a great start to the draft. The answers meta-wise came out from Liv Sandbox. They had the Kalista. They had the early game control.